Ever wonder what a Picasso masterpiece and, those doodles you made as a kid have in common? Well, today we are cracking the code, the fundamental building blocks behind all visual art. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, it's a great question, right? Because at first glance, you'd think a masterwork and some quick sketch are from totally different worlds. But they're not. They're actually built from the exact same stuff. And the answer is, well, it's surprisingly simple.
7. That's it. Just 7 things. These are the core components that make up pretty much all visual art. We're talking everything from ancient sculptures to the slickest modern designs.
And that's really the secret. Every single artist, whether they're thinking about it or not, is using these 7 essential building blocks. And once you see them, I promise you are never going to look at art, or even just the world around you, the same way again. All right, so let's start at the very beginning, the ground floor. These first 2 elements, they are the absolute foundation. This is where it all starts. Everything, and I mean everything, begins with a line. Think about it. It's really just a dot that went for a walk. It's the very first mark an artist makes. But that simple mark, man, it's powerful. It cuts through space, it creates an edge, and it literally leads our eyes on a journey. So get this. Lines have their own language. Seriously. Artists use them to talk to us without saying a single word. Like a horizontal line, like an ocean horizon, feels super calm and stable, right? And vertical lines, like big tall trees, they feel strong, powerful. But a zigzag or a diagonal line, like a bolt of lightning, that's pure energy, pure drama. That's an artist controlling the whole mood of a piece, just with lines.
Okay, so what happens when you take a line and it loops all the way back to where it started? Boom, you get a shape. It's the next logical step, right? A shape is just a flat, two-dimensional area. Think of a circle, a square, the silhouette of a person. It's got height, it's got width, but that's it. No depth.
Now this is a super important idea. The main thing you're looking at, the object, the subject, that's called the positive shape. But what about the space around it? That's the negative shape, and let me tell you, it's just as important. The best artists aren't just drawing the thing, they're designing the empty space around the thing. It's all about creating that perfect balance.
Okay, so we've got our flat shapes. But the world isn't flat. So how in the world do artists make things look three-dimensional on a totally flat surface? Well, that brings us to our next 2 elements, form and space.
It's pretty simple, really. If a square is a shape, then a cube is a form. See? Form is just the 3D version of a shape. It's got height, width, and depth. Now, in something like a sculpture, that form is real. You can walk around it. But in a painting or a drawing, it's all a very clever trick.
And that's the magic of it, isn't it? An artist takes a completely flat piece of paper, and by using stuff like shading, they totally fool our eyes. We see depth, we see volume that isn't even there. It's an incredible illusion when you think about it. So the stage for this whole illusion is space. Space is just the area the artist has to play with. It's the distance between things, the feeling of being in a room, the sheer scale of a landscape. It's basically the playground where all the other elements get to hang out. So how do they pull it off? How do they create that depth? Well, they've got a whole bag of tricks. They'll overlap things, they'll make objects in the distance smaller and a little fuzzy, maybe place them higher up on the page. All these little techniques work together to convince our brain that we're looking into a deep, believable space.
All right, so we've built the basic structure of our artwork. We've got lines, shapes, forms, but now it's time to bring it to life. And these last 3 elements, this is where the real feeling comes in. The mood, the emotion, the stuff that makes it feel real.
First up, we have value, and all that means is how light or dark something is. It's that whole scale from pure white to pitch black. Without a good range of values, you can't really show light. You can't make a shape look like a 3D form. Value is what creates drama and contrast, and it tells our eyes where to look.
And this is so important. A lot of artists will tell you that getting the values right is even more important than getting the color right. Think about it. A black and white photo can look totally realistic, right? That's because the values are spot on. But if you have a colorful painting where the values are all wrong, it just looks flat, unconvincing. And yeah, artists are super intentional about the range of values they use. If a piece uses mostly light values, we call that high key, and it gives it a very light, airy kind of feeling. On the flip side, if it's mostly darks, that's low key, and that's how you get that heavy, dramatic, mysterious vibe. It is such a powerful tool for setting the mood. And now, color, probably the element that hits us with the most immediate emotional punch.
Now, artists think about color in three ways. There's its hue, that's just the name, red, blue, green. Then there's chroma, which is how pure or intense that color is. And finally, there's its value, how light or dark it is, which we just talked about. They mix and match all these things to create harmony or to make things pop with contrast. It's how they make a painted sunset feel warm or an ocean feel cold. Last but not least, we've got texture. This one is all about our sense of touch. Sometimes it's actual texture, like gobs of thick paint on a canvas that you could literally feel if you touched it. But more often, it's implied texture. That's where the artist is so good with their lines and values that they make a surface look like it would be rough or smooth or furry.
So, there they are, the 7 elements of art. And this isn't just, fun trivia for a game night. This is about giving you a whole new lens to see the world through and a whole new way to create.
This is it. This is your new creative toolkit. Line, shape, form, space, value, color, and texture. Every single painting, drawing, sculpture, you name it, it's just a unique recipe using these 7 ingredients.
The coolest part about all this is that you've been using these elements your whole life without even realizing it. Every single time you've ever doodled or drawn something, you were using them. The only difference now is that you have the words for it, you have the concepts, and now you can use them on purpose, with control.
You basically know the code now, the secret language behind all visual art. You can use this to look at a masterpiece and really see what's going on. Or you can use it to push your own creative work to a whole new level. So the only question is, what are you going to do with it?